Hey, what's up, Street Talks? It's Eric from the Eric from Street Photography blog. So, this episode is brought to you by JCH Street Pan 400, gritty black and white film. Pick it up at japancamera.hunter.com. And also, Film Notes, your new guide to becoming the best version of yourself as a film photographer. Buy this on the Eric Kim blog. Big ups to Cindy for making it. So, why shoot film photography? I genuinely do believe that shooting film will make you a more conscientious photographer. One of the biggest reasons I like to shoot film is that this film thing, it actually costs money. So in today's digital world, we're all shooting photos on our smartphones and our iPhones, and when you make a photo, there's no cost involved. While this is a great thing for a lot of people who are on a budget, it's good to make photos that cost you something because you think twice before actually hitting the shutter and whether it's actually something meaningful to you or not. So for example, I will still shoot family snapshots instead of shooting a selfie with my film camera because it's meaningful enough to me to make a photograph it on film. Secondly, the reason I love to shoot film is that the photos just aesthetically look more beautiful. Photos that I shot 5 years ago on Kodak Portra 400 or Kodak Tri-X 400 still look amazing today in 2017 as they did in 2011. Whereas anything that I shot digitally, there's not a really good consistent look because I'm always experimenting with new presets for shooting RAW. And the funny thing is that if you look at companies like VSCO and everybody, they're trying to make digital photography look more like film photography because I think aesthetically film is more beautiful because film is more random. So if you make a photo on film, you're not just getting perfect ones and zeros on a digital sensor, you're actually getting more randomness. You don't really know where the grain is going to fall. And there's lots of film directors who are still shooting film, videos, film on film, 35mm film. So for example, one of my favorite directors is, sorry, I took that back. One of my favorite producers is my friend Bill Block. He's produced Elysium, District 9, I think it's called District 9, it might be District 6. I recently watched Fury, which was shot with Brad Pitt. I'm pretty sure the whole thing was shot on film. And just the light, the colors, the magenta, the mood, the emotion, the soul. Watching the film, not only was it, I think, a great film, the aesthetic and the look of film made the photo timeless. And because I think it was shot on film, it evoked more emotions, more softness, and I think there's something about human beings which we love organic things. So if you're shooting film, so let's say you shoot film, right? So I'm going to open this up. Japan Camera Hunter film. Bye. So, right. So you got a roll of film, and you got the film. When you shoot photos on film, it's actually the image and the photons of reality directly hitting this organic piece of matter, which is film. And to me, the reason why this is exciting is that there is essentially no filter. Light is hitting film, and once you get your film developed and exposed correctly, whatever, you're looking at the direct light and the photons on the film, whereas with digital, it's processed through a computer which turns into ones and zeros. Philosophically, it loses a bit of its soul. Also in practical ways, let's say I photograph, let's say me and Cindy have a kid, and I photograph the whole childbirth on film. 50 years from now, the film is still going to be more archival, meaning that you could actually see the childbirth on the roll of film. Whereas if I shot it on my iPhone or I shot it on a digital camera, can you imagine accessing a RAW file or even a JPEG image 50 years from now? Probably not. So the cool idea is, let's say you shoot, can you imagine that we have like little Jimmy? So it's like, little Jimmy, we photographed your wedding, your childbirth on JCH Street Pan 400, And when the child is born, this moment's immortalized on a roll of film. And by the time little Jimmy is 18, it'll be like, hey Jimmy, we have a present for you. Here's the roll of film where you were born. Little Jimmy is probably not going to be thrilled about it because he'll see things that he don't want to see, but film is going to last a lot longer than anything digital. So, for example, a nice experience I had was I visited my grandma. She's like in her 80s. I sat down with her and I looked at old photo albums of her when she was a kid. I cannot imagine any of the selfies that I've shot on Facebook that I've uploaded to the cloud will be easily retrievable 50 years from now, or 100 years from now, 200 years from now. Even war photographers, like I learned from my friend Gary Tyson, you're in a bunker or you're underground for like weeks on end, they still shoot with fully mechanical film Nikon cameras because with the digital camera, you need to charge your batteries and whatnot. With film, if you have a purely mechanical camera like the film like a MP, or even like the M6 or the M2, M3, most of those are operable without having a battery, which means, an EMP could hit the planet Earth, all the electrical systems get shut down, but you can still make photos on a film camera. So even me, when I go on backpacking trips for like a week, I will not bring my digital camera, I'll bring the film camera because the film like MP is still operable without an external source. And the last reason I like to shoot film is that shooting film makes me care less about the camera. And this is the strange thing, saying that, I bought this camera used for $3,500 off Bellamy Hunt, aka Japan Camera Hunter, and this lens is worth about $2,000 used off my friend Todd Hatakeyama. In theory, I can own this camera until I die at age 90 and hand it to my son, who could actually use it as well. Whereas so this is why I don't recommend buying digital Leicas, is that you buy a digital Leica for $7,000. That camera ain't going to be usable in 50 years from now. I'm sorry, it's true. So to me, it makes more sense to invest in an expensive film camera that could last you your entire life. And also know that the film camera doesn't have to be expensive. You could just shoot with your mom or your dad's used Canon AE1 that's collecting dust in the basement, or just any $1 camera you pick up at a flea market. So, long story short, buy megapixels, not film. I'm just kidding. Buy film, not megapixels. Buy books, not gear. I think it's better to spend $20 on a film notes, inspire yourself, track your progress, and it's honestly a lot more fun to shoot film, and also it's cooler because if you tell somebody, I shot that photo on film, I'm sorry to say, they're going to respect you more like an artist because it's actually harder. And obviously there's a lot of hipsters shooting film and they're just like, handlebar mustaches, and it's like, I only drink almond milk lattes. I hate those people. But shoot film for yourself. Shoot it because you enjoy the process. My buddy Vishal says, enjoy the process of shooting film. If you want to buy film, don't give your money to Amazon or B&H Photo because they're these big soulless companies. Rather, go to camerafilmphoto.com, support an individual who actually is supporting film. Also, the reason why, moving forward, I'm only going to shoot Japan Camera Hunter Street Pan 400 isn't because this is actually a better film than Tri-X. Tri-X is actually probably better, but it's because I'm supporting a human being, my friend Bellamy, who supports film photography and wants to take it to the next level. And buy film notes because Cindy spent a shitload of time making this, and if I started shooting film all over again, I think this would be cool. And this also looks great as a photo next to your almond milk latte or cappuccino by the nice hipster coffee shop where you spent $8 on a cup of coffee, and at least you can show off that hashtag buy books not gear is cooler. So hashtag film notes, and shoot street photography, enjoy yourself, and buy one for your friend. Alright, peace out guys.